What if I told you that the person who turned your world upside down wasn't a mistake, but a tool? You ask yourself why the strongest connection of your life was unviable. The uncomfortable truth is, the universe doesn't owe you a happy ending. It owes you the truth. Most men drown in the suffering, but you feel there's a missing piece, a lesson that, if learned, changes the entire game. I'm going to give you the secret that turns almost into absolute power. Stay with me, and you'll understand why the greatest pain of your life was actually the beginning of your greatest strength.
The impossible encounter and the call of the unconscious. Think about your car's GPS. You type in a destination, and it calculates the fastest route. But sometimes, without warning, it throws you onto a bizarre detour, a path that seems longer and more complicated. You get angry, curse the technology, think the system has gone mad. You can see the main highway, clear and straight, right there, but the device insists on that dark, winding side road. It's only hours later when you hear the news that you discover a terrible accident blocked the main road. That detour wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated maneuver to save you from disaster, forcing you onto a path that, although harder, was the only one that would get you to your destination safely. This is exactly what the universe does with these impossible encounters. It sends you a detour in the form of a person. You see a soulmate, a perfect fit, someone who feels like the final destination, a connection that seems tailor-made for your soul, but that real life makes impossible. And you revolt, you question, you suffer. Why is the path that feels so right blocked? Because you're looking at the wrong map. That encounter wasn't the destination, it was a goddamn mandatory detour. A synchronicity, as Jung would call it, designed not to give you what your ego wants, but to force you to see what your soul needs. The pain you feel isn't a glitch in the system, it's the system working perfectly. It's an initiation, a brutal call for you to wake up, look within, and stop blaming the traffic. The universe is forcing you to recalculate, to take the wheel of your own destiny, because the path you were on led to a dead end. That love wasn't meant to be yours. It was meant to teach you how to be you.
Deep recognition and the paradox of impossibility. Have you ever had déjà vu? That strange and powerful feeling that the moment you are living for the first time has already happened. A conversation with a stranger, a path you've never taken, and suddenly a flash. An inexplicable familiarity that gives you chills, makes you stop and question reality. Is it a glitch in the matrix? An echo of the past? Science tries to explain it, but the sensation is almost mystical. A deep feeling that that instant, however mundane, carries a hidden meaning you can't quite decipher. That first encounter with her was déjà vu with a body, a soul, and a name. It wasn't just interest, it was recognition. One look, one conversation, one touch, and the entire world slowed down. The feeling of having known her for centuries, of rediscovering a part of yourself you didn't even know was missing. It's a spell, an addictive drug that the ego loves. And that's where the universe sets its trap. Along with this ancient certainty comes the crushing paradox of impossibility. Life differences, distance, relationships, timing. Reality builds an insurmountable wall. And you ask yourself, why? Why would the universe give you a glimpse of paradise only to show you the door is locked? Because the feeling of recognition was the bait. It was the only way to ensure the message would be delivered. She wasn't sent to be your partner. She was sent to be a living symbol. a walking message to awaken your courage, your sensitivity, your authenticity. The universe needed to break you from the inside so the light could get in. That magical recognition wasn't a promise of a future. It was an echo of your own dormant potential.
The mirror and the thunder. Think about a summer thunderstorm. It doesn't ask for permission. The sky suddenly darkens, the air grows heavy, electric. The first clap of thunder isn't a whisper, it's a blow that rattles the windows. The lightning doesn't illuminate, it rips the darkness apart. A thunderstorm doesn't exist to be pleasant. Its function isn't to water your garden gently. Its function is to break the suffocating monotony of the heat, to clear the pollution from the air with necessary violence. It's a hard reset. It's nature in its most honest and brutal state. It's frightening. It causes damage, but after it passes, the air is clean, and what was destroyed has made way for something new to grow. That person was your personal thunderstorm. Thunder disguised as a human being. You looked at the synchronicity, at the magical encounters, and you thought it was a promise of love, of a happy ending. What a rookie mistake! Synchronicity isn't your ego's nanny, it is a bridge between the world you show and the chaos you hide. These events don't come to satisfy your desires, they come to expose your contradictions. She wasn't a promise, she was a mirror. A high-definition mirror the universe shoved in your face. And in that reflection, it wasn't her you saw, it was you, your flaws, your fears, your lies. She ceases to be a person and becomes a symbol. The mark she leaves isn't about the love you lost, it's about the moment your soul was forced to move. So here's the dilemma. Are you going to keep chasing the storm, trying to bottle the lightning, or will you have the courage to look at what was revealed inside you? Synchronicity offers you a mirror, not comfort, and most men are afraid of what they see.
The X-ray of your shadow. Do you know how an analog photograph is developed? You go into a dark room with only a faint red light. The photographic paper looks blank, empty, holding nothing. For the real image to appear, you have to submerge it in chemical baths, one after another. They are corrosive liquids with a strong smell that work in the darkness. The process is violent. The chemicals don't create anything new. They simply react with the light that has already been captured, burning away the surface layers to force the latent image to emerge. It is only through this chemical baptism, in the dark, that the truth hidden on the paper is finally revealed. Her departure was the chemical bath. While she was there, she was the blank paper onto which you projected all your dreams and idealizations. You saw a future, a solution, a home. It was a convenient fantasy that masked your own darkness. But when she leaves, she takes the projection with her, and what's left isn't emptiness. It's the exposed negative of your soul. The pain of her absence acts like that corrosive chemical, revealing your shadow, everything you refuse to see, your childish needs, your unresolved traumas, your most repressed desires. It is a raw, naked, emotional X-ray. Do you get it now? Her role was never to build a home with you. Her role was to light a fire. She was the camera flash that captured your soul, and the pain of her loss is the chemical that develops the picture. A picture that shows all your fractures, patterns, and wounds that you cowardly kept in the dark.
The art of mending the soul with gold. In Japan, there is an art form called kintsugi. When a valuable piece of pottery breaks, they don't throw it away. They gather the shards and glue them together with a lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The repair is not disguised, it is celebrated. The golden lines where the piece fractured become the highlight, telling the story of that break. The piece doesn't return to being perfect as it was before. It becomes something new, more beautiful, and more valuable, because its history of being broken and repaired is now visible, transformed into art. Its imperfection becomes its greatest strength. You feel broken. Her absence shattered you into 1,000 pieces, and your instinct, the instinct of the common man, is to try to hide the cracks, to pretend nothing happened, or worse, to crudely glue yourself back together to be exactly who you were before. That is for the weak. The pain you feel now is the beginning of the kintsugi for your soul. It's the start of the process Jung called individuation. It's about taking your broken pieces, your fears, your shames, your contradictions, and instead of hiding them, you integrate them. You accept the brutal truth. She didn't break you. She only touched the cracks that were already there. That impossible love wasn't the end. It was the invitation to your inner journey. It is the chance to stop running from yourself. The suffering is the lacquer, and the self-awareness you gain is the powdered gold. This is the journey now, to rescue the abandoned parts of yourself and rebuild, not to be who you were, but to become a man whose scars shine.
Your soul's demolition crew. Imagine you want to build a skyscraper where an old, unstable building now stands. What's the first step? You call the demolition crew. Their work is loud, violent, and precise. They use explosives, wrecking balls. They don't come to renovate, they come to destroy. In a few hours, the old building is dust and rubble, leaving an empty space. The demolition crew then leaves. You don't stand around waiting for them to come back with bricks and cement. Their job is done. They aren't the architects or the builders. Their function was one thing only: to create the space for something new and stronger to be erected. It's time to stop waiting for her to come back. She was your demolition crew. Her mission wasn't to build a life with you. It was to implode the false structures you called a self. She was the catalyst, the controlled explosion that cleared the ground. You keep staring at your phone, rereading conversations, waiting for a sign. You are waiting for the demolition crew to return to help you build. How foolish! Transformative love is like this, raw, exposing your fears and your courage at the same time. She wasn't a mistake, she was a tool. And the space she left is not a hole, it's a foundation. The void you feel is the invitation to fill it with a new version of yourself. A version that is more whole, clearer, and doesn't need an external explosion to see its own darkness. Her job is over. Yours is just beginning. Pick up a shovel. It's time to build.
The encounter in the center of the labyrinth. In Greek mythology, the city of Athens was forced to send its youth to Crete to be devoured by the Minotaur, a terrible beast locked in the center of an impenetrable labyrinth. It was a cycle of fear and sacrifice. Theseus, a hero, would not accept it. He voluntarily entered the labyrinth, not just to kill the creature, but to break the cycle. The labyrinth was a trap of confusion and darkness, designed so that no one could ever find the center, or if they did, they could never return. The victory for Theseus wasn't just killing the beast, it was navigating the darkness, confronting the monster born of shame, and finding his way back out, free. Your whole life, you have avoided your own labyrinth. The complex architecture of your own soul, with all its dark corridors and dead ends, and at its center, your own Minotaur, your wounds, your frailties, your shadow. Her arrival was not a coincidence, it was the sacred call. It was the universe's decree that your time for hiding was over. The confusion, the pain, the intensity of that connection, that was the labyrinth. You thought you were trying to win her, but the whole time you were just delving deeper and deeper into yourself. When she left you there, in the center, face to face with your own beast. The real encounter was never with her, it was with you, with your own depths. This painful journey wasn't a punishment, it was your initiation. She was the mirror that forced you to see that the Minotaur existed, but also showed you that the hero was in there too. This is not the end of your love story, it is the beginning of your true story.